Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm of two minds on this chapter. On one hand, we do get front-loaded. We just got front-loaded as fuck with Elvid's backstory, which I appreciate. But simultaneously, I'm not a fan of what those last couple panels seem to be alluding to, which is that it appears we're going to be skipping over the journey and going straight into the finale, which I'll wait for the next chapter before judging for sure if this is the case. But yeah, if it turns out to be true in the next chapter we're going right into the finale, I'm into the climax of things. I'm not a fan, and in a way I get it from the perspective of Mashima saying this would be a much more limited series in terms of how long he wanted it to run, but it does feel like there's not only like we're rushing a bit, but also like there's a missed opportunity to bare minimum just kind of tackle a lot of characters unresolved issues like personally, rather than just coming together and dealing with it all together. It's it's one of those things where dealing it in a more direct manner versus dealing with it in a more personal and internalized manner. And I would have preferred if, again, this is all assuming that we're going to be skipping ahead next chapter, but if we are just going straight into the climax now, it is going to feel, the development of the characters now is probably going to feel more direct than internalized, and I much rather prefer internalized, frankly. It's just a personal preference of mine. In saying that, yeah, we get Elfid's backstory, and it is loaded. Like, in a lot of ways, Elfid's story truly is the classic tale of fear and persecution led him to attain divine powers, which in itself is usual fare for a backstory like this, like being persecuted for wrongdoings you weren't a part of, and ultimately obtaining powers in order to hopefully make the world a better place. But what really sold it for me was Elfid's characterization and motivations during this period. The idea of him, again, genuinely wanting to create the perfect world free of all mortal flaws. So he kept just rewriting the world again and again, only for him to end up creating more strife in the process. Like, it truly is a case of genuine good intentions leading to one bad outcome after another. Like him so desperately searching for an answer, but never finding the one that fit his view of what he wanted the world to be. And yeah, we just got the most visual confirmation of the thing that has corrupted Elfid, and the little slither sound, definitely a small but very intentional addition on Mashima's part, as the serpent does have a lot of connotations in religious text, but most of the time it is to do with some form of corruption. And with this reveal in Elfid's backstory, the one I think Mashima seems to be going for is the tale of Genesis, combined with a little divine sovereignty, the idea of the serpent corrupting God's authority and shifting humanity's perception of the divine. Although in this case, like, rather than going from benevolent to suspicion, it's in reverse, where for the longest time the masses still the masses still believed him to be a prosperous god. With that said, though, we learned the biggest reveal of all, which is that Bedrock in itself, and the demon world as a whole, was created long ago just as another one of Elfid's experiments to create that more prosperous world by allowing demons the chance to become human. And there's not much more I can say about this reveal other than it really does fit so many pieces neatly into place. Like, when I first started reviewing this series, the whole prize of graduates from Deadrock being awarded a piece of the human world to rule over was already sketchy as fuck, and just the logistics of it were very, like, weird to figure out. And we've seen and even now we've seen what that truly looks like since entering the human world. So to hear the actual purpose of Deadrock was to give the students a chance to become human upon graduating, but like everything else, Alfred's corruption turned into something more malicious. It kind of fits really nicely into place here. In fact, it's backed up even more by the but by the whole thing with Lip and the underworld and the idea of reincarnation. Like that in itself kind of just adds to this reveal of like, okay, this was the actual intention of Dead Rock a long time ago, but then again everything just went to shit. Like Lip was the caretaker that allowed those students to cross over and become human. Um, in saying that, as much as I like the reveal itself, it also feels... It's one of those things where I like the reveal, but it also feels a little late in the game reveal in order to make this reveal. As again, part of me would have liked to see this concept explored more, but with us seemingly heading towards the climax, I don't know how much there is left, how much time there is left to explore, but it is, again, it is all determined on what happens next chapter. Like, unfortunately, like a lot of my, like all the problems I do have with this chapter, it all kind of revolves around those, around that pretty much final scene of the chapter. Like, are we heading to the climax now, or like what's the deal? Like a lot of my concerns, a lot of my gripes with this chapter are all having to do with what happens next, and what exactly that final page is trying to set up here. If this truly is like we're heading toward the finale here, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe from Blue Sky, Analyst Crunchyroll, be sure to hit the subscribe button and add your to the run, guys. Dark Knight of Any signing off. Later, everyone.